Yo, we back. And I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this part of my story in my comment section. Well, it's finally happening. And you can tell by the title, Goku and Bulma start a family. Or really in my story, it would be Kakarot. Alright? So, let's cue the recap on the last episode before we progress. So, Kakarot and Future Trunks exit the time chamber, ready to face the female Perfect Cell in his original timeline. Trunks steps up to battle first and puts on a show that even slightly impressed Cell. And eventually they have a beam clash between Perfect Cell's Gallic Gun and Trunks' Super Masenko. Trunks wins the beam clash and takes off Cell's limbs after he taps into his blind rage form that he unleashed against Kakarot in the time chamber. Afterwards, Trunks, in his blind rage transformation, dominates the battle with Cell, but lacks the ability to control his own strength, which becomes dangerously apparent when he prepares to fire a blast that would destroy the entire planet just to erase Cell, which actually causes Kakarot to transform and intervene and team up with the female Perfect Cell to calm down the blind and raged future Trunks. And after a while, Trunks is able to come back to his senses after Kakarot reminds him of the word hope that was written on his time machine. Then Kakarot, to the bioandroid's surprise, allows Perfect Cell to flee and leave the planet Earth. Which brings me back to the beginning of the episode where Kakarot and Bulma start a family. So let's get into that. Alright, so back in Trunks' timeline. Kakarot tells Trunks that he's proud of his performance and that he plans to visit him sometime and he better keep up his training. No slacking. Kakarot says his goodbyes to future Bulma and future Chi-Chi as he heads back to his own timeline. He also asks Bulma to give him plan schematics for her time machine so his Bulma in his timeline can copy the blueprints. Kakarot arrives back at his ship and surprises the waiting Bulma of his timeline, who tells him that she always knew that they would be successful. And Trunks already went and took off. Alright, he didn't want to do his goodbyes and whatnot, but he planned to be back. The pair chat, and Kakarot mentions his camaraderie with Trunks and what all happened, and Bulma is intrigued by his interaction with a future version of herself. And Kakarot also hands over the time machine plans to the brilliant Blue Net, and afterwards Bulma decides to ask Kakarot what he plans to do next. Kakarot tells Bulma that he plans to use the Dragon Balls to bring back Zarbon for his loyalty and everyone else killed by King Cold when he attacked the Earth. Bulma thinks that sounds like a good idea and compliments her future Bulma's fashion choice when she sees his training Saiyan armor with blue sleeves. She then tells Kakarot to meet her at Capsule Corp so they can get the Dragon radar for him to go out on his quest. Later on that same day, Kakarot changes into one of his standard armors and lands down in front of Bulma, who offers to hand him her improved Dragon radar, knowing the mission would be faster for Kakarot's flight speed. Kakarot then slightly blushes as he hesitates to make his proposition. He finally tells Bulma that he would actually like her to come along on a vacation with him, because he remembered he told her that he would take her out since she took him and Trunks to the World Martial Arts Tournament. And Bulma, of course, happily agrees with his request. But then Bulma then changes her tone and tells Kakarot that since it's a vacation, he should change out of his armor into some clothes for the occasion, and Kakarot is left wondering what is wrong with his current attire. Kakarot ends up putting on an outfit similar to the original Goku's, but his colors are white and purple without a teacher's logo, and Bulma tells him that it looks good on him, as if he was meant to wear it, with a wink. The pair take off on their journey to find the Dragon Balls at their own pace, ready to explore the world. And the first stop was on a Mount Paozu when Kakarot meets the holder of the 4-star ball, Gohan, where the two men exchange dialogue that flows natural as if they were supposed to meet. Bulma had already met Gohan on her past travels. After a while, Gohan gives the duo his Dragon Ball, and Gohan even gives Kakarot with his Kamehameha technique as a thank you to him for saving the Earth from Piccolo and King Cold. Afterwards, the pair take off to the skies to adventure towards a Dragon Ball located on an island. The island was the residence of Master Roshi's Kame House, who was the holder of the 3-star Dragon Ball. Master Roshi hears their story and agrees to hand over his artifact if Bulma will whip out her fleshly merchandise. Kakarot is irritated by the request and launches an air Akai attacks towards the perverted old man's direction, which causes the master to avoid the violent rush of wind in seeming slow motion. Roshi takes off his glasses to look at his attacker, and Kakarot admits that he's impressed by the old-timer's reflexes. And Roshi tells him that he could teach him a thing or two if he learned how to respect his elders, which just gets a laugh in response from Kakarot. Bulma gets the Dragon Ball after the performance, and the duo decide to head back on their journey. And Master Roshi is left in disarray when he finds out that Kakarot's attack blew his house down, and the Emperor looks at his fists awkwardly. And throughout their travels, they go on several detours. Like in one instance, Bulma introduced Kakarot to pancakes, where they shared one of Earth's popular breakfast foods. And within that diner, they began to talk. And Bulma tells Kakarot that when she was younger, she actually wanted to get the Dragon Balls together and wish for a boyfriend. And Kakarot laughs at the admission, seeing him as some type of fairy tale childish action. Or on another stop, she paid for them to watch an Akira Toriyama project in theater that they both quite enjoyed. R.I.P. Then they eventually rounded up all the Dragon Balls and summoned the mythical dragon Shenron. Kakarot wishes all the people killed by King Ko back, which would include Zarbon for his first wish. Then Zarbon materializes whole and alive again, quickly understanding that he has been revived by the Dragon Balls, which brought him relief because he thought that Hell had no sense of fashion in his opinion. After making his wish, Kakarot pushed Bulma in front and offers the second wish to her, seeing it as fair since she aided in this effort. Bulma turns to look at the Saiyan's eyes and says under her breath that her wishes already came true, which causes the man to smile, remembering their conversation at the diner. And then for the first time, the duo touch noses and lock lips right in front of the Eternal Dragon. Also, we'll touch on what his second wish was in another episode. It's a surprise. Later on, the couple even get married and have their wedding on the planet Namek, with off-world guests being present. Among those off-world guests were Tien, Chaozu, and Krillin. They also attended the ceremony. And like he promised, Kakarot took the Earth's fighters to the Elder Guru to unlock their potential. And then eventually, after the marriage, came a Saiyan hybrid and a baby carriage. Also, what do y'all think I should name their son? I was thinking he'd be named after Kakarot's father, Bardock, who originally rebelled against Frieza, with the last name Briefs, so we would call him like Bardock Briefs. But, you know, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about that name and all that. Right? And then a couple years later, Kakarot had been training with Tien and Chaozu, as well as with Krillin, wanted to strengthen Earth's domestic fighters. And Bulma and Kakarot's son had grown to be about 4 years old in his appearance. He has his mother's eyes and hair color while possessing the hairstyle of his father. Meanwhile, Dr. Gero thinks it's about time to strike the alien invaders that conquered the planet, because Kakarot's guard is down and it's time to retire the Earth's emperor. And Yamcha grinds his teeth in anticipation, finally going to get his revenge on the freak that stole his life. And that's where we're going to be ending things, man. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, we're going to be heating up on the next episode. You're going to get to see Android Yamcha. Alright, let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and hit that subscribe button. Alright, I'm out. Peace.